Hello buddies. Welcome back to Quick Movies. Today, I'm going to explain a crime thriller movie. Spoiler ahead. Arjun Sethi was the child of a police official. Since early on he was attracted to the brain research of chronic executioners. His father frequently assisted him with understanding the cases better with his insight. Later, graduating in business, he sought after a recognition in criminal brain research and concentrated on the instances of sequential killing for 7 years to compose the content of a movie. He met a few chiefs, however generally confronted dismissal, still up in the air to make the film his direction, and was not prepared to think twice about the content. His brother by marriage was posted in Kasauli and Arjun went to visit them to celebrate. Rough, his sister persuaded him to apply for a police post. His dad had kicked the bucket on obligation, hence relatives were offered posts on compensatory grounds. After a few bombed endeavors at making a film, he consented to turn into a police officer. He passed the composed and functional tests and joined the Kasauli police station as a southern overseer. Later, joining the station, Arjun went over a case that intrigued him. A high school student disappeared and That's What Criminal left the gift box contained a cut-off top of a doll. The show Goody Up Palmer concluded it was an kidnapping case. However, Arjun realized it was a parcel more than that. He attempted to persuade his brother by marriage Narendra to permit him to be a piece of the case. However, he exhorted him to not cross his lines and to play it safe. When Arjun took a gander at the photos of the doll, he perceived a similitude. The cutie pie was bended precisely like the teen young lady whose body was found in Parvana. The following day he attempted to clear up the case for the show and guaranteed it to be crafted by a sequential executioner. She disagreed with Arjun's hypothesis on the grounds that a gift box was not found in the Parvana case. To present his defense more grounded, he headed to the Parvana police station and asked about the gift box. He went getting some information about it around the school premise, and a watchman got the crate expressing that he saw that as the day the young lady disappeared. The posthumous reports of the two dead bodies were strikingly comparative. The DSP offended Goody Palmer for neglecting to concentrate on the case productively and appreciated Arjun for his endeavors as the police explore the cases. We are acquainted with Purushottam Tomar, who was a number-related educator at a Kasauli school where Arjun's niece Pyle had as of late enlisted. He used to genuinely rebuff the understudies who neglected to address math issues and coerced them into utilizing them for his benefit. He didn't permit the understudy to leave after the class finished and locked the ways to cover his terrible aims. He endeavored to do likewise with Pyle, yet Arjun came to the school brilliantly with the police force. When a third casualty was abducted, Arjun discovered that she boarded an auto alone and that the auto had a specific image behind it. He spotted the auto when they found the young lady's body. Arjun pursued the driver down and tormented him to pour out his rationale. The auto driver made sense of he was not the one engaged with the killings. He was basically paid by a man to furnish him with data when a student boarded his auto alone. Incidentally, the man he tipped was Purushottam Tomar. Later, looking through Tomar's home, they viewed as the casualty's back and, surprisingly, the gift box with the cut-off doll had. The police came to the school and tracked down him with heap. He was tormented by the police and must be hospitalized. However, Purushottam denied being the chronic executioner. He said that he wanted to sedate the young lady and take benefit of her, which was the reason he carried her to his home. Yet she had seen him add medicine to her beverage and gotten away from Arjun, would not trust it, and the fact that he was the makes the police certain chronic executioner. Later, Arjun celebrated Pyle's birthday, yet he was before long called to the clinic. Purushottam was compromising the police with a prisoner he figured out how to get hold of the show and vowed to shoot her if the police terminated at him. He knew that the police were building a body of evidence against him. However, he viewed himself as honest. As he got inside the lift with the show, there was a discharge. The lift dinged open and Purushottam was seen as dead. Arjun was concealing in the lift and he figured out how to overwhelm Tomar and save the show while the police were dealing with Purushottam. Another seizing took spot, and this time it was heaps. Abducting demonstrated that the sequential executioner was all the while hiding in the slopes. Arjun and his family were shaken by the new development. In a manner, the executioner was testing the police by target getting the girl of a cop. Even later, looking for 2 days, heap was no place to be found. That was generally the period after which the bodies were found. Arjun unexpectedly saw a blood-stained piece of plastic standing out of the trunk of their vehicle. He opened the storage compartment. Furthermore, found Pyle's body enveloped by a plastic sack and her face was bended just Like different casualties Ariane battled to unveil reality to his loved ones. However he in the end needed to, and it left them totally broken. Pyle's homicide persuaded Ariane to find reality even. However he was suspended from his obligation for terminating inside the school premises. It was while investing energy with his darling Divya and her niece he found that a amplifier could record sound. He hurried to the medical clinic and went through the possessions of a casualty amplifier separated from her shouts. She recorded a piano piece that Ariane played at the neighborhood radio broadcast to assemble all the more data about it. A guest informed him that she had heard the music at her school APS Parmena's yearly capability. Ariane addressed the school head and watched the video recording of the occasion as it ended up. The one who played piano and performed enchantment had been to each school 2 days before the understudy disappeared. He figured out how to persuade the show this time. Also, she named him back to the case. The police looked into the new wizardry show where she performed, and the volunteer was a young lady named Aisha Khan. It had been 2 days since she had performed, thusly she would strike, and her objective would be Aisha in light of the fact that the volunteers were dependable. The objectives. Ariane went to the school and informed the whole class alongside Aisha about the security estimates one should take in instance of peril. He requested that they save his portable number and reach him if fundamental. He didn't caution Aisha in specific, since it was exclusively by following her that they could get the executioner. The young lady whom they trailed behind school that day ended up being Aisha's twin sister. The police needed to rush back to find Aisha, and they followed her cell phone. Ariane and Shogudia followed the area of the versatile telephone. The executioner took Aisha to her home. Furthermore, played a comparative piano tune. Aisha recollect that Ariane had asked them to search for a break course in the event that they were caught. She asked the executioner for her authorization to utilize the washroom. Upon entering the washroom she saw that it was covered with the heads of old dolls' soil and the walls were painted with blood. She reached Ariane and he taught her to escape through the restroom window, yet the window prompted another comparable-looking room. Ariane followed her area and entered the house. Each room appeared to be comparable, making it even more challenging for him to find Aisha. Yet in the wake of hearing her shout, he figured out how to go into the underground room. What's more, save her. However, the executioner got away. Just in the wake of getting away from the police, she decided to break into Divya's home to kill her niece Edie. Subsequent to examining the executioner's home, the police viewed as two visas. One had a place with Agnes Fernando. Furthermore, the other to a kid named Christopher. Ariane perceived the name since he read about a case in which Agnes killed a student. Yet what was her intention now? While the remainder of the police force was searching for the executioner, Ariane chose to keep an eye on Divya, and he went over the yet again chronic executioner. Utilizing her enchantment stunts, she figured out how to escape to an deserted working with Edie. Ariane was ready to find Edie, however Agnes harmed him with a blade while battling to get away. Her grip Agnes' hairpiece tumbled off, and here we came to realize the chronic executioner was not Agnes but rather her child Christopher. He admitted that he had killed all the school young ladies. His experience growing up, injury and dismissal were the reasons he turned into a chronic executioner. He experienced progeria and his classmate ridiculed his appearance. His mom brought him from the UK to India, trusting that he would be better acknowledged here, yet it ended up being simply a similar. He felt useless and embarrassed. However, at that point he met Sophia. She was his main companion at school. She couldn't have cared less about his appearance, and he steadily fell head over heels for her. He admitted his affections for her one day. Also, she dismissed his proposition, embarrassing him by and by before everybody. Sophia's dismissal crushed him, and he needed to look for retribution. He needed to annihilate each lovely face that he went over out of disdain and outrage. One day when Sophia visited Christopher's house to apologize for embarrassing him, Agnes got her and given her the gift box that had a cut-off doll head. His mom upheld him when he killed Sophia, since she trusted that was the ideal reaction for somebody who abused her child. His mom took the fault for the homicide and was shipped off jail following 12 years when she returned from jail and was going to bring him home from a psychological foundation. She met with a mishap. After that mishap, he utilized his mom's appearance to get nearer to the young ladies committing the murders. Fulfilled him. He felt fulfilled subsequent to annihilating their lovely appearances. In the wake of portraying his story, he went for it to concordance. However, Ariane figured out how to anger him and handled him to save her life. He eventually cut Christopher different times and retaliated for the passings of the school children. The film finished with Divya, Ariane and Edie leaving the deserted constructing together. Thanks for watching. Please buddies subscribe my channel to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.